hello. I went on vacation and some stuff happened. Not only in the comics world, but I was kicked out of my recording space. So I'm here on this set couch, about to catch you up on what you might have missed in the comics world, but definitely what I missed while I was gone. So without further ado, let's talk comics. Alright, and look, you know, we're on a couch. It's all comfy back here in our KGW prop storage space, so, you know, let's get a little comfy. I'll be honest, this couch is pretty hard because it's really not made for comfort, it's made for television. But that's okay. So while I was gone, somebody rented out our space upstairs where I normally shoot my comics, but that's okay because I, with the help of some of my lovely coworkers, am building this brand new KGW Comic Pick of the Week set. Yes, I'm gonna have my own set. It's gonna be 3D, it's gonna have stuff on it, it's gonna be amazing, but I have to paint it. Like a lot. I have paint in places I didn't know you could get paint. It's probably TMI. But not only was I kicked out of my set space, but also, you know, comics happened. A lot of comic things happened that I missed while I was returning to my true alligator form in Florida for my darling mother's birthday. And I'm not gonna go over every single comic that I missed because obviously that's a lot. And notably, I did not pick up Batman number 77. Don't come for my wig, thank you. But let's get started, shall we? I have my trusty paper bag from Floating World Comics, located at 400 Northwest Cooch Street. That's where I get all of my comics. You should check them out. They have their fingers on the pulse of the indie beat here in Portland as well, and they're so nice and so knowledgeable. They can help you find a comic that you should be reading, but you're not. And here we go. You know, of course, House of X and Powers of 10, but we're gonna set those aside because I'm gonna stop trying to explain those comics like you haven't read them because it's getting really convoluted. So I'm gonna save that for the end. So anybody who's interested in a conversation about those comics, hold your horses. But however, I did pick up Batman and Superman and She-Hulk Acts of Evil and also Marvel Comics 1000. We'll talk about that one. Let's start with I almost threw those off my lap. Let's start with Batman, Superman. Now, I picked up the Batman cover because I happen to like Batman more than Superman. Sometimes I think the farm boy journalist thing is charming as a wannabe Lois Lane type myself, but you know, Bruce Wayne, he got it going on. I'll just be honest. This comic was interesting. I love the dynamic always between Batman and Superman because they are so different. You have, you know, Safety Patrol Clark Kent and gritty Bruce Wayne. That's my gritty Bruce Wayne voice. Was it? How was it? Was that okay? This shakes out like a lot of, you know, Batman and Superman team up things do, but this has to do with the Batman who laughs and the Superman who laughs and the Shazam who laughs. That's right. The Batman who laughs is infecting more heroes, and that is bad news bears for our actual heroes. You know, the idea that the heroes with all of their powers will be infected with the who laughs virus thing is heinous because the who laughs virus thing turns whatever thing it infects into an apex predator. It's not just fighting good guys. It's not just fighting the heroes. It's exterminating all life. Very problematic for people who are trying to protect life. You know, like I said, I really like the rapport between Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. I'd like to see superheroes as humans as well. Humans, you know, Clark is Kryptonian. But what I mean to say is I love to see their human side. I love to see the more mundane things sometimes within their fight, punch, kick, fly, laser beam eye as well. Moving on, I picked up the She-Hulk comic solely because of the new Disney Plus announcement that they're making a She-Hulk show. So I was interested to know what's going on with She-Hulk. We haven't visited in a while. I wanted to sit down and have tea with Jennifer Walters and see what her life is like right now. And it's pretty much like it always is, you know, fighting bad guys and stuff. Except in this story, it's bad guys, but also technology, and also circles around to her being a great lawyer. And that's what I really love about Jennifer Walters, and what I really hope that they incorporate into the Disney Plus show is like her life as a lawyer, because she is a superhero and she does fraternize with superhero type of people. But she's also like a woman who has like woman problems, and also woman problems like it's the turn of the century and I'm talking about periods. I mean, she navigates life as a woman, and with that comes a whole host of problems. Trust me, I would know. And not only is she a lady, She is a very smart and sharp lawyer, but she also is green, you know, super Hulk lady. Anyway, so it was really cool to see her back in action fighting crime and also using her brain. And so next we'll move on to Marvel Comics 1000. So this is a really cool collection of artists and writers, and they all got their own spreads. And so there's a ton of different art styles, a ton of different stories, and they're beautiful. And it's so cool to see so many different takes on obviously like all the characters that you love. This is a cool comic as a comic collector to have, and I was excited to look through it. I haven't like finished the whole thing. But so far it's been really, really cool. However, you guys knew this was coming because you know I'm this kind of lady, and I don't want any mean comments in my comment section talking about being a snowflake or crying or whatever, because listen, this comic is freaking dude central, and not like in the pages. There are some female characters in here, which is great. However, it's 2019 and there are roughly 137 artists and writers that worked on this book, this very cool book, and roughly 128 of them are male. And if you don't see a problem with that, I don't know how to help you. However, there are so many amazing women who work in comics, and for a measly 9 of them to be part of this very cool thing is sad. It's sad. And if you also feel like that's sad, you can maybe try and remedy this problem by making sure that you follow female artists that you like on social media and boost their stuff or buy their stuff. But I understand that not everybody has money to spend on art and stuff. That's a luxury. But just make sure that you're inviting women into the conversation wherever you are, whether that's about art or comics, in your workplace. Make sure that you're doing what you can to level the playing field. We should all be good feminists, and I know that word makes people uncomfortable, but we should all try our best to include women. It's really, I was looking for a more complicated word than that, but it's truly not that hard. So, where I think that this is a cool comic, it's absolutely bull. On to House of X and Powers of 10. I'm so excited about these comics, as you can probably tell, because I talk about them every week since they have come out. And if you're an X-Men fan, I truly urge you to pick up these comics and read them if you haven't already, because they're so exciting, and I love the direction that Hickman and Silver are taking these characters. It's really great to see. And hello, Emma Frost has entered the freaking chat, and I am so excited. But also, that, of course, is not the only thing that's going on. It's not even the major thing that's going on in this comic. Basically, we learn that the humans are building what's called a mother mold, which can create sentinels. Not only can it create sentinels or other like molds that create sentinels, but it can adapt itself to create smarter sentinels. So of course, the X-Men want to get to it before it's live. And I say the X-Men, but it's not like they're like in their X gear and they're like, no. It's more like Xavier tells Scott Summers, and Scott sort of assembles a group of people from Krakoa who all agree to go and do this thing, and it's almost cultish. Magneto has a way of turning phrase that always sounds really dramatic, and that's like his thing. But, you know, they're sending Scott and the other X-Men on this mission, kind of expecting them to die, it sounds like, and Magneto's like, nobody ever dies unless you're forgotten, and a founder of a nation won't be forgotten. So it sounds like Scott was pretty instrumental in creating Krakoa. I mean, he's always up Xavier's butt, so it's not too shocking. And they go and try and kill the mother mold, and it looks like they get blown up. So, of course, that's not the end for these characters. These are some very pivotal characters that we've already been introduced to in this mini-series, so I have to believe that that stuff we saw in the other comics where they were like crawling out of egg sacs looking like they were weird clones has something to do with it. And that may also play into Powers of 10. And really, you can't read these comics, Powers of 10 and House of X, separately. You have to be reading both of them. They truly are two series that are one. Now, the most interesting thing about this comic, of course, if you're reading it, you know, it's looking at the X-Men in the past, present, future, and very future. The most exciting thing that came out of this is Apocalypse is in charge of the X-Men. What? Yeah, I was very shocked because in the prior Powers of 10 comic, You see in the future Wolverine talking about the old man, and you assume that he's talking about Xavier, that they're going to go talk to the boss, and that it's going to be Xavier, theoretically. No, it's Apocalypse. And I don't really know what kind of implications that has for the future, to be honest, but it's really interesting, especially after introducing Moira McTaggart as this mutant who has this power to basically reincarnate and keep all of her memories. But in one of her lifetimes, she was very close with Apocalypse. So I'm kind of waiting for her to appear here. Is she going to? I don't know. And I also don't know, I guess, really how to suss this stuff out, except for the fact that you're looking at, in House of X, what the X-Men are doing now, and of course you're very invested in their plot lines and their struggle. They're basically trying to not only survive as mutants, but also thrive, which has always been an issue for mutants because humans want to murder them, casually. However, in Powers of 10, it kind of really puts it all in perspective, because no matter what is going on in House of X, no matter what's going on in this current timeline, like in the future, the things you do have very little weight. And that's such a weird thing to think about, but it's true. I don't really know. So are we gonna see all those heroes who are theoretically blown up trying to exterminate the mother mold come back from weird egg sacs? Do I wanna see that? It's kinda nasty. I don't know. I have a lot of questions. Every time I read one of these comics, I have like 1,000 questions. And so tell me if I'm alone. This makes me feel a little dumb, but I'm very excited for it. And now, Emma Frost. Oh, I love her so much. Not only do I love her, but I now know that she wears jasmine perfume and like same. So we're basically the same human. No, it's really interesting because Sabretooth, of course, was caught when he was doing bad stuff with Mystique earlier, and he is in a Supermax prison, about to be sentenced, when Emma strolls in to save the day, dressed in all white and furs and high heels, just being her fabulous self. And she tells that judge that no mutant will ever be judged by humans again, because Krakoa is in this agreement with the human realm, world, us, that we see them as a sovereign nation, and so Krakoa will have to deal with the mutant issues. And it'll be really interesting to see if and how they do. I don't know. I have a lot of questions. This comic is really heavy in the world building sense, and not only is it like literal world building, but also we have this whole past, present, future, super future nonsense to contend with. It's a lot. I have to read these comics several times before I talk to you about them, and I still feel like I'm saying nothing. So that's great. Now, I'll be going to Rose City Comic Con in a couple of weeks, and I'll be taking you guys along with me. So I'll see you guys next week with more comic reviews. And until then, you can follow me on Instagram, but I'm most active on Twitter, and I would love to chat with you guys. So that's all. I'll see you guys next week. Same-ish time. Maybe probably not the same place, but you know, same channel. And until then, this has been KGW's Comic Pick of the Week. So you guys want a little sneak peek of my new set? I'm so excited. Looking behind me so I don't fall over and die. I'm just gonna turn around. We're in prop storage right now. As you can see, there's a lot of proppy looking things behind me. But here's the wall. So far I've only put one coat of paint on it, but it needs many more. Alright, let me take the brakes off. It's a whole wall that somebody here built out of the kindness of their heart, out of literally nothing, which is incredible. There she blows. That's it so far. I know it doesn't look too exciting, but it's gonna be great.